Hello everyone, welcome to Magical Me. I'm Jamie Mendez, spiritual intuitive and oracle, and I'm here with my weekly Moonday oracle message. And this is a message of higher guidance for all of those who find themselves here, for the collective. It's a generalized overview of what we can most expect for the week. So I'm going to go into that in a moment. It's going to be a reading for the week of July 6th, 2020. And I'll explain more about how this reading works and a little bit more about what I'll be doing here today in just a moment. I'm going to let everybody connect while I also take a moment to share. Hi, Noreen and Liz and Vanessa. Welcome, lovely souls. Hi, Dawn. So happy that you could all make it tonight. Just bear with me one moment, everybody. Oh, I am. Thank you so very much, Liz. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well as well as the kids. Happy Moon Day. Yeah, I am happy to be back after a 2-week, much-needed break. Just going to share this and let everyone know that I'm live. Blessings, Kathleen. Thank you. Oh, thank you for that, sweetheart. And thanks for being here. Glad you were able to make it. Hey, Trista. Yes, it has been a while. I'm glad you were able to make it as well. Okay, almost done. Okay. And done. Hey, Courtney. Welcome, beautiful. Thank you all for being here. How has everyone been? I feel like I haven't been here in forever. It's been 2 weeks. But yeah, I feel like it's been quite a while. So how's everybody been doing in this interesting energy we've had since the summer solstice? Is that how long it's been? Excuse my sipping, it's very hot. Hi, Fred. Welcome. All right, really quickly, while you all feel free to share in the comments, I'd love to hear what's been going on with you. I'll jump back to them in a second. I'm just going to explain for anybody who's new to my page how this works. So I am, as I said earlier, an intuitive as well as an oracle, and I do use my intuitive abilities as well as my oracle cards to call forth a message of higher guidance for all of us as a collective. This is positive divine guidance to assist us in really giving us a heads up or awareness as an overview of what we most need to know going into the energy of the week. Today is Monday, also known as Moonday, and a very wonderful day to be able to connect with the self, to use divination, to actually bring forward divine guidance and messages. So that's why I call it Moon Day. It's also the ancient name of this day of the week. So with that said, it's all positive messages. This is not individual personalized readings. I do offer personal readings privately. If you do wish to book one with me, feel free to take a look at my services on my page and you can reach out to me. I'm actually going to talk about news and announcements in a moment. And I will be announcing a new reading special that myself and the oracles have. So after I talk news and announcements, I then go into what I like to talk about as my energy or empathy forecast as an energy sensitive. I just talk a little bit about like what I've been feeling, how I've been energetically impacted, and maybe that by sharing that it does assist others in maybe understanding a little bit more about what they might be experiencing as well. Then I actually go into the Moonday Message and pull a card for us all for the week and what we most need to know, and I share my guidance pertaining to that. And then after that, I pull a mudra card and we work with the mudra together. So it's just another added bonus as to how we can really start to facilitate some healing, kind of rise above anything that might be going on. It's facilitating our own growth and healing. And I will explain more about mudras once we get there. Okay. Yeah, Courtney, I know, love, I know. And I'm sending you so much love, holding space for you and my positive thoughts there. Shelly, welcome, beautiful. It's good to see you here. Trista says, manifested abundance. Woke up this morning to find out we have overtime all week and Saturday too at work. Is that the abundance that you were asking for? Because, it's funny. I learned the hard way that when working with manifestation, you got to be real specific to spirit about exactly what it is that you're looking for. Because, oh boy, if you leave room for open, it's like an open-ended question. If you leave room for that, it's going to, sure enough, you're going to get what the universe sends your way. So, but abundance in all forms is, and financially is blessing. So congratulations. Dawn says, crazy. Okay. Crazy energy. Hey, Julie, welcome, love. Thank you for being here. Noreen says, I've been running on low. Good, Jamie, Val. Oh, well, hopefully we can send some your way here. Heavy out there. Yeah, you're not lying. Hey, Sarah. Welcome. So happy to see you here. Everybody, this is my Aunt Sarah. So glad you could make it. There you go, Trista. There you go, girl. Hey, Shannon. Welcome. All right, so I went into the overview of how this works for anybody who's new. I'm actually going to go into anything, but if anybody has any questions throughout the way, feel free, share them. I'm really all about interaction here, so so happy that you're all able to be here. Noreen says, my work stay has been extended 2 more weeks. Oh, is that a bad thing? I know for some people it's definitely not a good thing, but for some people it's like welcome. So, I hope that it works out for the best for you in what you most need. Dawn says, and yet I felt a shift amongst the craziness. Yeah, so it's funny you say that because I actually woke up this morning. I have a hard time waking up in the morning, guys. Could it have something to do with the fact that I am a night owl? I do have a hard time falling asleep. And when I finally fall asleep, then I have a hard time getting up in the morning. But this morning, I woke up like full of energy. I woke up really early. And I was like, let's get my day. Normally, I'm going back to bed. There's no way I'm getting up at this time. But I didn't have anywhere to be today, and I still managed to get myself up early, and I felt a really positive, energetic shift. I felt this rush of motivation and inspiration. So I do really feel, and I actually channeled a message today from an ascended master known as Kuan Yin. And for those of you who follow the work that I do with Rachel Goodwin on evolving into the cosmic heart, we actually have a private members only group. It is a paid group, so it's $22 a month, and you can sign up through Patreon. All the information is on our page, Evolving into the Cosmic Heart. But you can always send me a message privately, and I'll help you get the information that you need to sign up if you're interested. But just really quickly, I'm not going to go into what the message was, but it was about the month of July, and it really did, I'm just going to use the word reprieve, okay? Because that's what I felt, but it did go on to add some more information regarding what we're experiencing. But today really did feel good, and I love the month of July. I always really have. It's also the month of the number 7, and I'm a numbers girl when it comes to numerology, and 7 is that number of alchemical transmutation. It's also about trusting in divine timing and the divine leap of faith. And really trusting blindly in natural order. So I really feel this is a good month. I do feel like it doesn't mean that we're going to be out of the woods, but I do really feel like this is a good month. And I almost feel like I want to tell you all, like, I can breathe, So however that pertains to your life right now, because I just felt it, I feel like we can breathe for a moment. At least we can breathe. All right. So Kathleen, I think we all do. Yeah. 2020. Whew, yeah, so I'm already going into my energy forecast, everybody, but let me take a pause there. So I'll talk more about that in a minute and what's going on energetically. Really quickly, news and announcements. There's not a lot. So those of you who are new to my page, I do also own another business called Oracles of the Light with my soul sisters, Karen and Lindsay. You can go over and check out our page if you like. We are here on Facebook. I can't talk today. And I kind of do both news and announcements for Magical Me here, as well as Oracles of the Light. And together we offer an array of services as well as readings. So we have not launched our newsletter for the month of July, but we do launch a monthly newsletter with a lot of information, inside tips, things that you can do with the, kind of like we give an overall theme for the month, and then we give tips based on that. So if you'd like to subscribe to our newsletter, everybody who is already subscribed, you're not going crazy. We have not released it yet. It's been intense as we're all discussing here. Hi, Leah and Debbie. Welcome. And anybody else I may have missed, Margaret, Cheyenne, welcome. So we haven't released it yet, but hopefully by the end of the week or next week, the latest. All right. So if you're interested in subscribing, all you have to do is go on to our website, www.oraclesofthelight.com, and you should get prompted. There should be a pop-up that comes up and asks you if you want to subscribe. If not, if you're on a laptop only or a PC, you can't do this on mobile for some weird reason, you can go over to the Facebook page, and on the side it'll say email sign up. You can subscribe there. All right, so let me know if you have any difficulties. Send me a private message and I'll help out, or you can send the message over to Oracle's page as well. Okay. However, we do have a new reading special for the month of July, and it is a lightworker reading, and it's all about what are your lightworker gifts. This is really important because many of us, if not all of us, really are a light worker in some way or another. And to put that in layman's terms, someone who is here to assist just by being yourself, by shining your internal light outwardly. So that can really translate into many different things for different people. It's unique to each and every single person. So what we have decided to do, and what we've really been inspired to do, is create a reading that helps people understand what their gifts were in past incarnations or past lives that are coming into this lifetime to be used and accessed, and then how you can embody more of those gifts here in your present incarnation, and what you're really meant to be doing with them. So we are offering this now on our page. You may have already seen the announcement. There's an offer set up. If you don't see it and you still want to purchase the reading, just send a message to Oracles of the Light, and we'll get you the information you need to sign up for one. We're offering it only for the month of July, and that reading is $40, but the reading goes about 45 minutes or so. And it is a recorded reading because there's so much information that it's best to have this one recorded. This way you can always go back and look at it when you need to. So if you're interested, again, just shoot us a message. Anything else that we have going on for this month is our monthly Spirit Development Circle. So every month the Oracles and I host a Zoom live class or workshop, and we tackle a different topic. It's a $10 fee. You don't have to be there live. You can actually just sign up to get the recording and have that sent over to you, or you can participate live. And every month we tackle a new topic that will benefit you and even your family members. And it's just a way for us to present spiritual awareness for your own personal growth and development, to tap into your own innate magic. A lot of people have come to us and they're like, I don't even know where to begin when it comes to meditation. I don't even know where to begin when it comes to how to talk to my own spirit guides. So what we do is we start to break down the most important beginner topics and start to work through them all. So we've done a few already, such as working with your power animal and bringing them in to assist you. We're currently working with the clairs, so your intuitive gifts such as clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, and some of the other clairs. So all past recordings are still available for purchase. And this month we're going to be working with, it's part 2 of working with the clairs. So this month we're working with clairaudience and clairvoyancy. That is going to be a live Zoom class on Friday, July 24th, I do believe, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, if you cannot tune in live, it's okay, because we do send out a private recording. And we do have a group for support that you can, share your experiences in, ask your questions. So it's only $10 a month per household. So that means that your family members you don't have to sign if you want your children to watch, your spouse to watch, your significant other. You do not have to pay multiple times. It's just $10 per your family. All right. So I do know that there has been some questions as to, can I invite over like this person and that person? And, for $10 a month, we are just asking just to honor our time and energy. It's only $10. If it's really not a close family member, we do ask that, it's per person then. But again, per household is a little different. We don't ask you to pay multiple. So, but we're very open, and we do work with people, donation as well sometimes, if that's all you can do. All right. So really great way to start tapping into your inner power, your inner abilities. If you're interested, there's an event that has been created on our pages, both here and on Oracles, and send us a message if you can't find it. Okay. Hey, Lynette Love, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hi, Amy. Hi, Monica. I miss anybody else? I don't think so. Noreen says, I've been in South Carolina for 3 months. I miss my family a lot. Oh, I know, sweetheart. I think you mentioned that before, how you were kind of stuck down there. I hope everything works out for you so soon. Trista says, I get up at 3:30 a.m. for work. It takes me forever to get motivated. Whoa, girl. That is early. Much power to you. Oh, Courtney, I know, my dear. That's just rough. I'm so sorry. Angie Walters says, I have always been a healer. Oh, Angie's a really dear soul sister of mine. And so, if she says that, then there's definitely a really good reason for that, my love. So you should probably pursue that and look a little further at what's coming forward for you at this time, Margaret. Hey, Steph. Welcome. All right, so that's it for the news and announcements. I'm going to go ahead and get into that energy forecast that we were all talking about. Then I'm going to pull the Moonday message for us all. Although most of the time it kind of gets covered in the energy forecast. Hey, Ricky. Welcome, girl. Glad you made it. All right, so again, this is higher guidance for all of us for the week of July 6th, are we at? Yeah, July 6th, 2020. Energetically, what's been going on? I haven't been here for 2 weeks, and there's a really good reason why. So not only was there a break that we were taking from our live discussions that Rachel Goodwin and I do every Monday on Evolving into the Cosmic Heart. Rachel was away, so we decided to take a break, but I got this message that was just like, there's so much energy coming in, and there's so much, the energy was really about going within and really focusing on some things that were coming up. So for example, for me personally, I was doing a whole lot of integrating a whole lot of information that had been coming through in the weeks prior. And I had been doing a lot of self-work, especially regarding like ancestral pattern wounds, inner child healing had been coming up, and I had noticed that there were some patterns coming up in my life now that stemmed from things from like childhood or even previous incarnations. So it was really time for me to go within and work through some of that. And so it was really hard for me to focus on much of anything else. So I don't know how all of you felt. I know some of you commented that you just felt energetically like things had been crazy, or just there's been a lot of chaos, or some of you had been saying that you've been feeling really wiped out energetically. And when that happens, it's because we are actually being guided to just rest. So really, when you get those moments of just resting and just being still, there's a really good reason for it. Most of the time, it's because there's so much energetic light coming into the planet. There's so much energetic shifting going on within us all as a collective, as well as on an individual basis. There's so much transformations going on that those transformations cannot occur if we're constantly on the go. Interestingly enough, I actually read a post from somebody who I recently came into contact with today, and they had mentioned that they, for the first time ever, fell asleep during meditation, and they don't do that normally. And my response was, because that is something that happens actually a lot when people are either tuning into like meditations, or when they're tuning into, or when they're having like healing sessions done. I'm going to compare this to how how we're being guided to kind of stay still. Oftentimes, in order for the work to be able to integrate, or for us to be able to acclimate the changes and frequency that are happening, we have to stay still. Sometimes we actually have to be completely removed from our conscious mind. And when we go into those deep states of sleep, it really does allow for our subconscious mind to be awoken, and it allows for that deep activation, clearing, healing, purification, and integration to actually be able to occur. So it's really important to listen to our bodies and to listen to the energy. If you are like some of the other people who have been saying, I'm just feeling like it's just energy has been crazy, it's been intense, it's chaotic, that's also a really good sign that it's time to disconnect. It's time to detach from what is going on around you when possible, or in a way that doesn't completely make you like, because obviously some situations we can't just completely like shut the door on. Some we really need to. But when possible, it's a really good opportunity for you to stop what you're doing and really come back to self. What I like to call coming back to center. And the best way to do that is to just be still and do nothing. If you can just sit outside. Sometimes I can't even bring myself to read a book. I'll find myself sitting outside just looking around for hours. And then sometimes my conscious analytical mind tries to come in and like, Jamie, you just wasted an entire day. What is wrong with you? There's so much work to be done. But that's just like, that's ego, and that is not productive. That's actually counterproductive. There is no such thing as wasted time. So when you are feeling like, I can't even absorb a post on Facebook, like I can't even read this right now, you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to those energy hits. That's what that is. That is like your intuitive body, your intuitive mind reaching out to say, this is what you most need. And one other little secret I'm going to tell you is that I have learned through stillness is when the most potent inspiration comes. So think about all those times when you could have been just standing still instead of feeling like go, go, go. And I understand there's a whole lot of guilt surrounding not just standing still, because that's the world that we live in. Unfortunately, we are taught to believe and programmed to believe that being, standing still or being selfish, doing things for yourself is selfish. You're really not supposed to do those things, but that's absolutely false. It's so, so, so important to be still. And all those times where you were looking for maybe clarity on something, answers, or feeling blocked and struggling with things, but yet you're going, going, going like that Energizer bunny, when you stand still and you just be, that's when you receive that inspiration for the answers to what the problems that you're going through. This is when your higher mind begins to communicate to you through thought, through symbolism, through just a wave of an epiphany that you just have. So stillness is oh so important. All right. So energetically, it's been intense. We've had eclipse after eclipse, and I do see your comments, everybody. I'm going to get to them in 1 second. I'm not ignoring you at all. Welcome, Aroha. Thank you for being here. Yes, love from Avalon. I appreciate that so much. We are going through so much energetically. We've had back-to-back eclipses on top of crazy astrological alignments, on top of like 6 planets in retrograde. It has been a mouthful. I'm not going to break every single one of them down right now. But these eclipses, we just came off of the third one. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, this might be the final for the year. It's wrapping up. I think it's like a whole 18-month season, I read somewhere. Because if you think about, I know last July, I was in Glastonbury in Avalon during the July eclipse. And then the year before that, I was in Avalon during the July eclipse. So I know there's been back-to-back eclipses between solar and lunar. And eclipses are so life-changing. They are the catalyst. They're pioneering for us to shift in those stagnant cycles or places that we find ourselves in. And this one has really come in when we are just about, we're in Mercury retrograde. And we are also, I believe, Saturn, the planet of karma, everybody. Now, karma is not bad. We know that. This could be a really good thing. I think we forget that sometimes with karma. We could be ending karmic cycles. So Saturn is the planet that rules over karmic cycles. I do believe it comes into an alignment this evening with the moon. We all know moon is about the hidden, that in which it's kind of like hiding out there in the shadow. So this means that it might bring up some of those things that have to be released to break you, liberate you from this karmic cycle. These things could be coming up over the last few days. You may have noticed it, or we could be moving into it with this week. So it's really going to be interesting to see our messages that come forward. But this planet of karma is not a bad thing, but it is going to liberate us from anything that is not revealed yet or within our shadows. So I know myself, I'd been dealing with a shadow of feeling unworthy. It came up like out of the blue. So clearly that was a sign to me that there's something lingering still within me that is unresolved. So I have to go look down to the root of it, which is where my inner child stuff came up. And so for the average person, that might be a little difficult. You might not just know, but the best thing that I can tell you is when you're feeling something that is shadowy, is negative in emotion or feeling or thoughts, I'm going to tell you, grab a notebook and just write that stuff out. Really just automatic writing kicks in. This is again that stillness. Your higher mind kicks in, and automatic writing often kicks in and really allows you to break something down and look at where it came from. Just write what you feel and just keep going until it's a cathartic process, just keep going with it and writing with it, and hopefully you'll begin to see a pattern in your life, and you can maybe get to that root of the issue. So lots of things might be coming up to the surface, they might not feel great, but remember the reason that they are coming up is because Saturn is liberating us. Here in the States, we just experienced our Independence Day, right? Our 4th of July. So independence can be looked at as liberation on a bigger picture. So what is it that you are being liberated from, even if you were not asking for that liberation? What is currently going on that is actually your liberation in disguise? So it's a really fantastic time to sit down and really process what is going on at this time emotionally, mentally, and maybe within your relationships, family, friends, and romantic. And it's a really good time to reflect on where are you being liberated, what needs liberation, and how can you move forward. Now, flipping that on a different perspective, karma is also positive. So karma is neither bad or good, guys. It's simply cause and effect. And this could be an incredibly positive, and I'll tell you, I personally feel like a very positive energy with this month coming. I do feel like this is a really big opportunity to free us from those things that we've been repeating and the lessons we've had to learn over and over again. It doesn't matter if you learned them the first time. Spirit just needs to send them to you like 3-4 times before you can actually be free. And they just, make sure, like your higher mind just wants to make sure, like, do you got it? Do you really got it? So they keep coming around over and over again until we really fully are freed, till we are no longer triggered by things. So great opportunity to sit down and reflect with all of that and really focusing on, and gratitude for Saturn versus the dread, which is hard for me. So I'm right here with you all. I need to say thank you, Saturn, for bringing about these liberations and transformations that are going to make me come back into my divine power, my divine sovereignty, because that's what this is all about, everybody. Okay. All right. Enough of the energy forecast. Hi, Derek. Welcome and thanks for being here. We're just talking the energy forecast. I talked some news and announcements. Anybody else that just popped in? Going to be doing the Moonday Message in a moment. Just want to see what else I missed. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Hi, Sue. Let's see. Trista says, people are being bombarded around me with energy for self-work and shadow work. There you go. And now we know why. I mean, when the energy windows come in, it means that any work that you even attempt, it's supported. So, it doesn't mean that we're not always supported to, work through our stuff. We are. But there are times, certain times of the year, and I was talking about this today with Rachel on our live discussion in Evolving into the Cosmic Heart page. There are certain times of year that seem a little bit more opportune than others. And so the energy is supporting you to make these changes. And it doesn't always feel good to have to deal with shadows. A lot of us, myself included, are like, no. I pull my cards in the morning every day and I'm like, oh, is this a good day or is it a bad day? Sometimes we just have to deal with our stuff, but it's all for liberation, to get to that place where we just don't have to deal with it anymore. That doesn't mean that we're not always going to have something to work through, because that's life. But do you want fresh starts? That's the difference. You want fresh starts. You want new stuff. I don't want to deal with the same old stuff anymore. Like, I'm done. So, I don't know about you. Kathleen says, completely drained. Trista says, it's weird for me. I have been in a good place energetically. One day I was zonked, but other than that, I have lived up to my nickname, Bubbles. Well, that's good. That's good. Being able to just kind of like sail through this stuff, it's where you want to be. Today, actually, I actually mentioned that today felt very up and then it felt down. So what about the rest of you? Julie says, I've been pulled to heal others. I felt super energetic lately. There you go. See, everybody is activated as they need to be. Our calls to action are different. Kathleen says, my life in a bit of a shell, arguing with self over spending an entire day staring at the pond. That's me. I'm just staring at the flowers all day long. And then I see something magical. I'm like, let me record it on my phone. Yeah, we need to. We need those moments of magic. And one thing that I'm starting to do a little bit more lately is really connecting with the elementals. So when I find myself kind of like drifting off like that, I will often kind of start to, my eyes almost, it's so hard to explain this, it sounds weird, but it's almost like my eyes shift on a different frequency, and I'll start to notice what's going on beyond the surface of our realm, if that makes sense. So yeah. Maybe another reason why we're so drawn to just kind of like sit there and stare off into space, because maybe there's something actually connecting with us that we're not aware of. Debbie says, I'm at a point of feeling totally numb. Oh, that's so, I definitely can relate. Well, that's a really good opportunity then to, because numb is good on one end, but it's not on the other, because it's so hard for us to embrace this understanding, but we do have to feel in order to release, And I know that's tough, especially when you've been feeling it and you've been feeling it and you've been feeling it and you're like, well, I don't want to feel it anymore. Like, how much more do I need to feel? But really, that is how we heal. And that is how we release, through actually feeling it. When we go numb and when we suppress is when we actually begin to create stagnant and blockage on our cycles and within ourself. So even if you've got to really put it all down on paper, or call a really good friend and just say, listen, I'm so sorry, please shield yourself, but I'm about to launch some stuff, and let go. And when you let it go, cry, rage if you need to. I had one of those moments a few months ago where I just rage, and I normally am very composed. I keep it together as best I can. I might say things here and there, but I normally keep it together. But I had a moment of complete rage, and I had to. And after that, you have to get out the bad stuff. You know, we can't internalize. We got to release that stuff. Because when we internalize, it comes out in all kinds of ugly ways, you know. So while I am very sympathetic to how you're feeling, because I know that place, journal. Just start journaling and let yourself get it out in some way, all right? All right. Hey, Ange. I see you pop in. Thanks for being here, sister. All right. Flo says, I lately feel like a light switch just got turned on and I just feel like myself, the true me. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I'm happy to hear that. That's just, you know, that's where we want to be, right? And Kathleen, thank you. Lynette says, writing it out has been my message to many lately. Oh, awesome, Lynette. Good. Yeah, keep on sharing that because it's so healing to do it. And like I said, you know that when, you know, working with oracle cards, that's the first thing I teach a student is write it out. Just look at that card and write. It doesn't matter what is coming through, just write, because that's the magic. That's when you get that good, raw stuff, you know? All right. At the thunder rolls. Yeah, it's definitely interesting outside. Hey, Karen. Thanks for being here. It's also Shiva month. Shall we dance that cosmic dance? Yeah, I saw that today too. I know that you had mentioned it, but I also saw that post by, I believe it's Isis Channelings, and she spoke of it, which I thought was just really, really amazing. So yeah, and what else is interesting when you talk about that whole, like, the cosmic dance happening and the blue light that comes forward with Shiva, which is essentially the blue ray, right? It's like divine will and divine power. So it's like coming into our divine power, our divine will, and what we want, what's good for us, not what's good for others, you know? Shifting that whole, and truth, you know, coming into that authentic truth here. But we've been in the cosmic womb. You know, I talked about that maybe a couple weeks ago, and I said, you know, we're in this place of the void, in the cosmic womb, preparing for that rebirth, that resurrection. And I feel like that's what July is. I feel like we're coming up out of the womb, if that makes sense for everybody. Hi, everybody. Happy Moon Day. Oh, thanks. Missed the post of the earlier time. Oh, that's okay. No worries. I'm still talking. I didn't get into actual Moonday message yet, but thank you for being here. So tired of being numb. Oh, get headaches from it. I'm afraid of what might come out. See? I know. Try to creatively outlet, you know, like a creative outlet. What about painting? You know, painting will actually, like, get that out. Or even, it doesn't matter if you're a good painter or not a good painter. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. Just, girl, grab a canvas, grab some paint, and splash. That's all you got to do, and just get that emotion out. You know, it's so important. Drawing, coloring. I know there's all those therapeutic coloring books for adults now. That's a really great way. Working with clay is a way that I actually, when I'm upset or when I'm stressed out, I just go to my clay, and some of the best stuff comes out when I do that. So yeah, find a safe person to connect with that can actually hold space while you are going through the process, while you're communicating. There might be a lot of stuff that comes out, but when you're with that person, they can actually help to direct the conversation, to help it keep it going from a place that's unsafe to yourself or anyone else, okay? I hope that helps. Hi, Alice Louise. Long time no see, sister. Thank you for being here. Yep, coloring book and crayons. You don't have to be artistic. It does not matter. And let me just tell you, inherently, we all are. We're all born with that creative magic. It just looks the way that it looks, and that's all that matters, okay? All right, let me stop this talking and get into our wild magical wisdom for the week. So on that note, and all that elemental magic I've been feeling, I'm working with the wild wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. Okay. All right. So let us all, on those notes, take a really nice, deep, cleansing breath in through our nose. And as you release, blow that breath out of your mouth and just envision all of the stress, all thought, all worry and tension just leaving your body. Unclench your jaws. Relax your shoulders. And just breathe. And what guidance comes forward for the collective's highest and greatest good this week, July 6th, 2020. We got to, as there's 22 viewers. Hi, Laura. Welcome, beautiful. So we have 2 cards. Oh, these are good ones. Huh. And the numbers are like back to back. This kind of goes with the message of what I was saying about the liberation and how karma is not good or bad, but we're always looking at it as like, oh great, something about to come back around that I just do not want to deal with right now. But think about what is liberating you to start a fresh new cycle when we're going through like a massive reset, when we get to start over. So the card is a 39, which numerically breaks down to be a number 3. 3 is all about the birthing of new chapters, of new cycles entering our life, or we are entering a new cycle. But it is also about a cycle coming full circle, right? So that means something's coming to a close. It's coming back around because it's coming to a close. All right. So it's important to remember that when cycles do present again, don't engage, acknowledge, recognize, release. Okay. 3 is also the number of creation and birthing something new. And the card is Shimmer. And it says glamour, confidence, allure, charisma. So who was it? Flo that said, I feel like I got my mojo back, got my light back, my true me. This is it. This is where we're heading this week. So you can see, I'm going to go into this message because I can feel energetically like the Fae want to come in. And when I start to feel their energy, I start to feel like I'm going to get like really funny and silly. And what I'm getting with them right away is they're like, you're not the same. You've been through so much, you're not the same. You have shifted in your vibration, which means that you're up here. So that cycle that's trying to come right back around and trying to like, it may appear as though it's trying to threaten your happy place, your happy space. But realistically, it cannot touch you. It's just here to say its final goodbyes. So when you are seeing this new cycle, you're up here. You have been elevated. And now it's time for you to relinquish the control, let go, acknowledge and say thank you for what it has brought into your life, and just go forward. Move forward freely. So this is all about you getting that laughter back, your light back, your joy back, and your confidence back. What were we saying? The divine will, our willpower, and I just heard your will to succeed. No more defeat. There's this renewal energy that's coming forward, and it is pushing us forward. So you can't help but be seduced by it. You can't help but be beguiled and enchanted, and you just feel this magical pushing forward, if you will. All right. So that's card 1. The second card is a 38, which breaks down numerically to be a number 11, which is a master number. This is a number that I always see as a gateway or a portal with the 2 pillars, and it presents itself for a new opportunity for you to walk through, a new doorway, a new threshold to be crossed. Again, that falls into alignment with us leaving behind the old, that we really are ready to just embody a completely new way of being, seeing, feeling. And with that said, I feel like this is bringing in new opportunities for us this week. New beginnings, yes, absolutely right. And I do feel like those new beginnings are going to make themselves a little bit known in some way or another this week. So whether this be, I'm feeling really strongly that there's new partnerships coming in. Now, I don't know what that means for each and every one of us. It's different for everyone. This could be a partnership, a new friend. This could be a new potential love in your life. This could also be a new potential business partnership or collaboration of sorts. It could be the relationship with you in self. It could be the relationship with you in spirit. So it's very different. I want you to keep your mind very open to how it's going to present itself. But let me just tell you that 11 is also the number of higher awareness. So again, as we have elevated on our pedestals, our way in which we perceive the past situations and cycles, we're not there anymore. That's why it can't affect you anymore. That's why it can't touch you, because you remember, embrace the higher path, the higher road, that bigger consciousness versus going into that place of letting it suck you back down and pull you into. That's how you sail through it. With that said, it is also the card of the number of manifestation and instant manifestation. Ones are also about rebirth, moving forward, positive direction and change. So you've got that doubled by the 11. We are really entering into a very positive, energetic time. Very much about fertility, opportunities, and birthing of new beginnings. So we've got the Green Man's Bride. And it says sacred union, commitment ceremony, maturing into a deep relationship. And I'll tell you, this is probably my favorite card in this deck. So this is about a union. This is about that. If I have to, like, I'm feeling like I'm hearing these fairies say this like whole, like, you got your mojo back, and that's exuding this magical presence about you. And with that said, that vibration alone is kind of being cast out into your web, and it's attracting those that are attracted to that frequency that you have now and that you're carrying, that you're embodying. So I do feel like this is really, you shift, your relationship shifts. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't come the other way around, all right? And I don't just mean relationships, opportunities. Those things that we want to experience and doors that we want to open for ourselves. You shift, they come in. Okay, so really embracing that new perspective, seeing things differently, not letting them pull you down and tear you down. I think we can really learn a lot from the elemental energy because they are very playful. They are a little mischievous, but they are very childlike in the way that they approach situations. So I feel like when these old situations might come back around to be released, embrace them with that humor, with that childlike playfulness. That it doesn't mean that it might not be a serious situation, but you don't have to take it so seriously. You don't have to let it break you down. You can rise above it and recognize the higher picture, the bigger picture of why it's actually happening, and it's for what? Liberation. This is for you to come into yourself, to come into your truth, to get your mojo and your power and your magic back. And once this shifts within you, even if it's just a conscious epiphany, that's enough for it to create the door opener. Some of us may not see it right away. You might not say, some of you might say, well, this week came and gone and I didn't have any opportunity come to me, and I didn't have any new, amazing romance come my way. That's because it's not just about physical. It's also about the spiritual process. Again, remember I said number 7 is also all about divine timing, natural order. So just because you shift doesn't mean that it's going to be like here on your doorstep tomorrow. But what it also means is that when you shift, what you do is you send that ripple out into your web, which then begins to create ripples all throughout your entire web until it eventually ripples back to you. So what you have done is you've opened the door to facilitate the alignment of these new opportunities, of these new situations, of these new partnerships to begin to move toward you. Okay? So I hope that resonates, and I hope that makes sense to everybody, because I feel like just looking at these two cards together, I really feel like, whoa, some magic is going to be coming in for us all in some way or another this week. So yes, reprieve, deep breaths, because let that stress go, let that tension go, and roll with it. Because remember, all of our circumstances greatly depend upon our response, our reaction, our ability to surrender, our ability to release, to heal, to acknowledge, and to forgive. So we are so important in our own life. All right. All right, everybody. That is our Moonday message. I hope that you enjoyed it. I love working with the energy of the Fae, because they kind of also just tell it how it is, like just like children. You know how children just say the damnedest things? Yeah, that's them. They do that as well. All right. Yes, definitely stuff to be excited about. Hi, Barbara. Welcome, beautiful. You can get everything back. And Lindsay as well. Hi. You can get everything back on replay. Just wrapped up the Oracle message. I did a really interesting energy forecast, so get that back. And then obviously news and announcements. Me too, Lynette. You know, I've been working with that one since I was born. Alice Louise says, so does this also include your mindset changing? Absolutely. Thinking and approaching situations differently. Yes. And I'm sorry if I did not translate that correctly, but that's what I was actually referring to when I said our confidence and our perspective shifting. We are raising an elevation. So it's really about embracing the higher awareness of a situation versus falling into that lower ego trap, if you will, and kind of falling back into the emotional or the mental cycle of something. We have the opportunity to see it differently. You're different. So naturally, you're going to see it differently, although there's always the opportunity to fall back. But absolutely, you're being encouraged to see it differently, okay? To see how much you've changed and how the circumstance just can no longer impact you the way that it did. And also having the awareness of how it has actually helped you, these circumstances. And that in itself is different. That in itself changes you. When you can recognize that something was actually a helper, even if it doesn't look it, that it taught you something. And there's where I said about expressing the gratitude for it. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Jessica and Leah. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed, and Debbie, glad you enjoyed it. Laura says, I'm excited. I could use some magic right now. Sister girl, I think we could all use some magic right now. But, you know, it's everywhere. Magic is everywhere. It's just waiting for you to actually look at it. Okay. All right. So with that said, we're going to get to the next part, and that is working with the Moonday Mudra. So why do I work with mudras? Because of one, because they're amazing, but two, because I tell you these things, and it is really difficult sometimes, I know, for people to have tools at their disposal that can help them get into alignment with whatever message came forward, or to help, keep themselves in that space of, grounded or centeredness or healing or opening themselves up. And a lot of people can't even get to healers to work with their chakras. So these are really powerful, and they assist you with all of what I just said. Just working with one. So it's really a way for us to, and there's no pun intended, but it is funny, to take our power into our hands, because we're literally working with our hands. All right. So what are mudras? The word itself is Sanskrit, which is an incredibly ancient language, believed to be one of the first languages on earth, also believed to be a form of light language, which just basically means that it has power in healing. And so just speaking the name actually has a very powerful healing effect, or creates a ripple effect for us with its vibration. So mudra actually translates to the word seal, or like an energy seal, if you will. So using these seals that you create with your hands and your fingers. Your fingers are connected to the 5 elements. Your fingers are also connected to, your fingers are also acting as triggers, is what I want to say. And so accessing your palm chakras, creating these seals, activates your energy centers. When you combine breathing and intention with using these mudras, so mudras there are many, okay? There are hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of mudras. There's so many out there, but things that we do all the time, things like this, that's actually another one. Some people have actually seen them like this. I've seen when people meditate, they do this. These are all mudras. So when you're using them, they act as an energetic seal that activates your energy centers, also known as your chakras. Your chakras rule over aspects of your physical body and all the organs and areas that go along with that. Your energy field, which also consists of your mental body, your emotional body, and your light body. So when we have things that have occurred that are like, you heard me talk about inner child wounds, that was some emotional stuff that was way out in my energy body, in my emotional layer. So working with something on the physical isn't going to help me because the actual issue and root was out there. So working with a mudra can actually facilitate the release, the clearing, and the alleviation of those blockages on all of those layers, even on the physical, which also could alleviate certain physical ailments and dis-ease. Okay, so they are very powerful. They're so powerful that some of them actually do come with some cautions. If you currently do suffer from certain physical issues, you may just want a heads up, and I will let you know if our mudra comes with a caution, just because it could add irritability because it's going to stimulate that area, if you will, through the chakra. I hope that makes sense. So very, very powerful, and one mudra can work with many chakras. One mudra might work with one chakra. It really just depends on the mudra. They have been being used for thousands of years, specifically by the Tibetan monks, but very widely used across many different cultures, as well as still very widely used today in spiritual practices. Okay, so I like to pull one from an actual mudra deck that I have. And I'm going to work with the Elements one, which is Mudras for Awakening the 5 Elements by Alison D. Nicola. Okay. So I will call forward one that's going to align with what we most need energetically throughout the week. And then we'll do it together. Afterwards, I'm going to take a picture of it. I will post it on my page, and then you can save it to your phone. And I encourage you to work with it all week long because it's only going to help facilitate the growth that you need. Okay. All right. So what mudra comes forward for the collective good for the week of July 6, 2020? Ooh, yep. Assimilation, and is the Gupta mudra. Don't know if I said that right. So far, I do not see a caution with this one, but it is ruled by the element of fire. As you can tell, fire is very activating. Fire is also very transformative and purifying. Fire can also be very destructive, but the breaking down for the birthing of the new, just like the phoenix, okay? Phoenix actually is reborn through its own ashes. So it assists spiritual discipline, transformation, and what? Willpower. I'm not making it up. It's backwards, but it's there. We talked all about that, didn't we? So perfect mudra to assist us this week. Its benefits are optimized digestion and assimilation of nutrients, supports the kidneys and adrenal glands, cultivates determination and commitment to releasing self-limiting beliefs. Look at that. Perfect, isn't it? So we're going to do this one together. Looks simple enough, doesn't it? So what you're going to do is you're going to interlace the fingers inward, not outward. We always want to do it outward, right? I have rings on. I don't know if this is going to be difficult, but you're actually then going to instead interlace your fingers inward, okay? Thumbs on the outside. Hard to see. But you're actually going to cross the right thumb over the left thumb. And gently, very gently, because you don't want to hurt yourself, bring the heels of your hands here together. You're going to hold your hands lightly against your abdomen. Okay? And Angie says Gupta is the tortoise shell. Oh, very fascinating. Interesting, too, because the tortoise shell is sacred geometry, is it not? Which is, to me, very much, it's not exactly the flower of life, but it does, when I see it, it does remind me of like that creative web of like the flower of life. And there's a chant, Angie also says, that goes with this. You could chant the Om or the Yogi Mantra. And would you be able to share the Yogi Mantra for us? So Angie Walters, everybody, is a beautiful soul sister of mine who works much more in depth with mudras than I do. Her business page is Crystal Essence Healing. Go over and give her a follow. She shares mudras daily. Okay. Thanks, Ange. So you can chant while doing this. I'm not going to be chanting today, but you can chant when you do this on your own later on this week. It's only going to add to the benefits. All right. So, so just going to relax your hands lightly over your abdomen, relax your shoulders, and straighten your spine. I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes, and we're going to do 6 breaths, okay? So take a nice deep breath in through your nose and release. Again, breathe in and release. Breathe in and release. Three more times. Take a nice deep breath in. Release. Again, breathe in. And release. Last time, deep breath in. And release. And you can state, I assimilate all of life's events with ease and grace. I assimilate all of life's events with ease and grace. I assimilate all of life's events with ease and grace. And so it is. And you can open your eyes. All right. And so that one's perfect. It really is, especially if you just think about what we just said. I assimilate all of life's events with ease and grace. That means I adjust, I surrender to it, and I accept it. And I'm not struggling against it, you know? So it really does help us to release, because the more we struggle against something, the more we resist something, the more difficult and the longer and drawn out the process becomes for us. So this is a really great way to even express the way, you know, kind of expressing acceptance and gratitude of a situation. All right. So really powerful. I hope that you enjoy it. I'll take a photo and post it on my page. Feel free to save it to your phones and just work with it all week long. I do hope that it assists you. All right. Angie has just shared the Yogi Mantra. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. And so anybody, you can like try to copy it and save it to a note on your phone. You can even write it down, or maybe even look it up if you can't get this to save it, because it is quite a lengthy one. But I do appreciate you sharing, Ange. Thanks. Kathleen says, that was lovely, my dear. Thank you. It was good to see several people on today. Haven't seen in a bit. Blessings to you all. Yes, there were so many of you here. I do greatly appreciate you all. Much love and blessings to you. Best of luck. And I am so excited to hear next week if there's been anything that started to show itself to you. All right. Thanks again for being here, everybody. We'll see you soon.